Hello, welcome to another episode of SDS. Now, we are here for an exciting episode. We are going to be talking to someone's very special. Actually, two special people who are working on something really cool, which we'll get into in a bit. But first, let me introduce to you my co-host for today, my vice captain. It's Lyes.
Round of applause, guys. Appreciate you.
My two-time Arsenal winner, so I had a choice to bring anyone on next to me. And SDS is a platform where we have loads of people. This guy's the most knowledgeable person we have on the podcast. And he's a Manchester United fan. And he's a big Manchester United fan, but he's the most knowledgeable person we have. He's like Wikipedia. Sometimes I don't use Google, I just ask him. And opposite us, we have, of course, you guys have already seen the thumbnail and title. We have a very special guest, Patrice Evra is here. Uncle P. Do you go by Uncle P now? Is that one of your nicknames?
Yes, I mean like Paul Pogba started with Tonton Pat, but he mean like Uncle Patrice. Then now because of the crazy side man, is Uncle P. Yeah.
Uncle P.
All the kids, they see me when I'm in Dubai, Uncle P. I'm like, oh, I ruined my life.
Yeah, well, it's not. I think it's a good nickname. And next to Uncle P, of course, you might not recognize the face right now, but you're also a big Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
You work with Patrice Evra on something really cool, which we're going to speak about today. It's Mr. Tommy Fish.
Thank you for having me.
So you're a Man United fan. I now feel outnumbered. I'm obviously one of the biggest Arsenal fans in the world. So I feel a bit outnumbered. So we'll speak.
We won't talk about Netflix today.
Next season.
You know about Netflix. You were on Netflix. That's probably.
Yeah, I love
That's
Netflix.
what you're talking about, right?
Don't talk about it. Come on.
But so as you guys can see by the video today, we are talking about young players because the world is full. Like young footballers, it's actually what makes watching football exciting. Of course, as an Arsenal fan, there's Miles Lewis, Skelly, Ethan Waneri. Across the world, there's some of the best players in the world are young players. But specifically, I want to talk about the best young players that you have played with, Patrice Evra. And then we'll talk about, those players, what it's like playing with a young player, seeing their potential. Could you see some players you can see that they were going to get to where they are now? Some you couldn't maybe, And I know you'll be honest if you say, I couldn't tell, I could tell. And of course, at the same time, yourself, Tommy, you're going to obviously let us know specifically on players. And I know you're going to have a lot of stories maybe that you think he's missing out. And at the same time, both of you, of course, work on something really cool called Player, which involves giving young players a chance, giving them a platform and allowing them to be seen and hopefully get moves by clubs, which we'll be speaking about in a second. But to start off, of course, we're going to start off with Monaco, right? So we'll do our research. And like I said, I'm an Arsenal fan. There's a specific player that you played with when he was a young player. Emmanuel Adebayor.
Yeah. Shei, l'enfant du pays. We call him Shei. No, Shei is a special human being. Yeah. I mean, Adebayor, his quality were just unbelievable because he had some long legs. I will do 5 steps. Yeah, I'm short. He will do 1 step and just run. But his cardio is just unbelievable. So every time we were doing the test, he was the first. And he's a happy person. When I think about Adebayor, I remember when his dad passed away. So we lost the game. After the game, he put some music. And I remember Gaël Givier and Schilacci, they were like, turn the music off. You are so disrespectful, what you're doing. And he said, guys, you take it too seriously. When my dad passed away, we celebrate. So we have a party. So do you think it's not like he didn't care about losing the game, but his mentality was so strong, thinking about the next step. To be honest, I was worried for Adebayor because his lifestyle was quite crazy, but his ability are just unbelievable for a tall player to have this technique. And I wasn't surprised, for Adebayor, the career he did, because guys, people forget he played for Real Madrid, Arsenal, City, Tottenham. Yeah. He played for big club with everywhere. Big player. Yeah. But I was more worried if something will happen to him because I remember in Monaco he didn't have his driving license, so I was myself taking him to training. But one day I don't know, he went far away in the north of France. And he had a massive crash accident, and that's what I was like, Ade, you need to be careful. So I was more worried about him staying alive than worried about him succeeding in the football.
And of course, he did end up succeeding because he's played for many clubs. Arsenal is the team that he's known for the most.
Yes.
And for me, I swear, literally. That was like my first, like after Thierry, that was for me like the first striker. But it's mad, of course, how he's remembered now. Obviously, what happened with Man City. Yeah, but he's told his story. And it feels like
it's a true story.
He feels like it's right.
Yes.
It's right from his side. What do you think about?
Did you forgive him for what he did? Like, just a quick question.
I don't know.
They were throwing chairs at him. Honestly, I always think to myself, if that happened today, how much bigger it would kind of be.
The story would be
if
bigger.
something happened like that today.
Yeah, it's different now. No, I forgive him. Because he gave me good memories, and also
then you're a good Arsenal
yes,
fan. Because he was like really emotional. You see what they were singing about his mom, his dad. So it's quite horrible.
For me,
not surprised from Arsenal fan anyway.
So if this is now going to be what we're
never.
I like this.
Never. I like your energy. Never.
Another one, while we're on Monaco, and we're going to speak about Monaco obviously a little bit, and I'm going to move on. Maicon is another one that we found.
Man. I love Maicon, man.
Maicon is my soldier. Like,
another fullback.
Another fullback. Joga Bonito. Love life, Carnival, all of that. But I promise you, when the game started, he was a killer. He was a proper killer. But the technique, he's a beast. He was a beast. Me on the left, him on the right. Like, to be honest, we were like unstoppable. And when he went to Inter, he win the champion. I think he win even the treble and all of that. But Maicon, why I know he was going to succeed is like his passion, his determination, his anger, his aggression. I have a story about him when we play against Nice, my whole club. And the fan of Nice, they came to the training ground. We lost the game the next day. I didn't have a good sleep. And some of the fans, they were like shouting. Then, I switch off. I just went behind the barrier. Boom, boom, boom. The first was following me was Maicon. Yeah. After the paper didn't put the story, and I was lucky because they
Did he follow you to stop you? Did he follow you to help you?
No, he followed me to kick some ass. It's like you go to the wall, Maicon will come. But his quality, even at scoring goal now, Maicon.
I think he's so underrated these days, man.
He's so underrated.
Because you talk about all these attacking fullbacks now. If he played in today's game,
man,
he fit right in. He's a I used to call him a locomotive. He's like a freight train.
Yeah, but he's the new generation now. Everyone is like, I can give you the example of Yaya Toure. I don't think he's one best midfield than Yaya Toure. He's all those kind of player, but he's a different generation. But Maicon for me, definitely was the best. There was a period
he was keeping Dani Alves out of the Brazil team.
Oh yeah, Dani Alves and him is the two best right back I play with.
You reckon?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Wow. He was so... Maicon, honestly, he's part of that Inter team. I love that Inter team.
Yeah.
He's like the entire flank. He covers the entire side.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
And that's honestly, what he do.
The only time I ever saw him get roasted was Gareth Bale. But that was the birthday. That was the day Gareth Bale became the winger that we know him.
Yeah. But how many beer he drink before that? Because I'll be honest with you, like, how many times he won't show up to the training.
I think Mourinho told about that.
Yeah, we're gonna say, where is Maicon? Then Deschamps or someone or the doctor have to go and pick him up. Then I remember one day I remember the doctor came back and he was like pale. We say, what's wrong? He said he went to Maicon house. He said, no, Maicon just opened the door, was red eyes. The dog just scared himself and left. Like, you never know what can happen with Maicon. I'll be honest, you will never know.
He's that good a player. And that game with Bale, like he said, do you think that is the reason why I think...
Yes.
Yeah. Both people kill now...
But that whole Inter team, right, in 2009-10, people forget they were an old team. Like, you look at this Inter team now, they're old as well. But that team is the last years, like Lucio, they were all kind of getting older
and
now.
don't get me wrong, Maicon is faster with the ball than without the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Bale, I think, catching, but with the ball, is faster.
You're right, though. That probably tarnished his legacy
a little bit. That's what I think.
Because there's when you think of Maicon, you think of the Spurs fans singing Taxi for Maicon.
Taxi for Maicon,
rather than the treble-winning guy who's Brazil's right back.
Mental.
And Loki, Zanetti and Lucio got away with it because they were getting killed too. Only Maicon gets the blame for that. If you watch it back, Zanetti is getting cooked.
Man, when they see Bell, they were just over there. Like,
it seems like Bell scored the same goal 3 times. But people forget that Inter still went through that time, didn't they?
No, so it was the group stage. The thing is, the first game between them was at the San Siro. They were winning 4-0. 4-0. Bell scored 3 goals. That was big.
They lost that game. Yes,
honestly, the better game though was the second game at White Hart Lane. He didn't score any goals, but.
Now I believe you when you say it's the Bible of football.
No, he knows everything. He remembers everything.
I love that Inter team. Honestly, I love that Inter team so much.
He remembers everything. But there was one episode where he was telling me the winning manager of the World Cups in 1982.
Whoa, what's wrong with you? Did you get the life? Are you okay?
They give us money if we win the trophy, so I like the money, man.
He studies to win the competitions. But yeah, so obviously, of course, those were like two of the players that we picked out for Monaco. We'll move on. Let's move on to Man United now, and I know, of course, this is where you guys can help me on certain names, because there's many names that you've seen. Because the era you played in, of course, it's I know you like to banter Arsenal. The era of Man United now, my friend, we're not going to talk about that. Man. We're not going to talk about this Man United, but the Man United that you came up with, you had players like, I want to start off with, for example, Gerard Pique.
Yeah.
He was very young.
Sad story.
Yeah.
Gerard Pique is simple. I remember when he was playing with the kids, and Rio, myself, we were asking to Ferguson to play him with the first team. So he was training with us, very good on the ball. But Ferguson always hesitated to play him. What the United career killed Gerard Pique, the game was against Bolton.
I've heard.
So he tested him, and we lost 1-0, I think, goal from Anelka, corner kick. He get pushed away really easily. And I remember after the game, Ferguson just gave him the hair dryer. You're not fit to play for United. This is the last game you're going to play with the first team. So actually, I think Pique just went to Barcelona, and it was more his game, more possession of the ball, maybe less contact, less challenge. But we know he got the quality. But Ferguson, sometimes he give you one chance and you fail and you're done.
I think it was tough too, because you have Vidic and Rio in front of you. So how many opportunities are you even really getting at that point?
No, but exactly. But it was so easy on the ball, so I wasn't surprised for him to succeed at Barcelona. I was really happy for Gerard Pique, because he's also a very good person. But yeah, you got Vidic, you got Rio. The boss give you one chance. If you don't take it, you see that's I will say with Chris Smalling and Johnny Evans, Rio and Vidic were getting older. Rio had a back issue. Vidic, he had the UCL. And when we were losing Community Shield against Manchester City 2-0 halftime, I remember at halftime, Ferguson looked at Rio. He said, "Rio, why you shit yourself?" Then Rio said, "No, I'm not. No, I know you are shitting yourself." No, they argue a little bit. And I remember he said, "You and Vida off. Smalling, Johnny Evans, because you just like going back, and they come in the two kids, and we won 3-2, and the defense was so high. So this was the change, but they took their chance. They had 45 minutes. We are 2-0 down. We won 3-2, and that's when Ferguson started to say, okay, I need to play a little bit Smalling and Johnny Evans.
So as a fan, I look back at, and you might think differently, but I look back at Pique, and I thought it was premature him leaving. I thought that 2008 season, he'd broken into the first team. He maybe got 20 appearances, scored a couple of goals as well.
Definitely.
And then, he'd been out on loan in Spain the season before.
Zaragoza,
came back really strong. Yeah, came back for Zaragoza really strong. And you thought now he's going to step up and really compete with Rio and Vidic. And then Pep obviously had a plan for him though.
Yeah.
And I think if Pep comes knocking, that was before Pep. Obviously, that was before he got into senior management. But I think coming in and saying you're going to go into the first team at Barca, or you can do battle with Rio and Vidic here, you're going to go back home.
Yeah, but don't forget, he's from Barcelona. So his parents, Pique was living even in Manchester with his parents, and he missed Barcelona. So for him, he was jackpot. He was perfect. Yeah. He's backing home. So that's why I will not say blame this Ferguson or blame Pique or whatever. It was supposed to happen.
It's like Fabregas, right? Like
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
If you think of career management, it's perfect. Like loan him out to get first team football in La Liga, come back, break into the first team, and then get your big move back home.
But even then, he's got to beat Puyol and Marquez. That was still a really good Barcelona team that he was breaking into.
But they found that right partnership. I mean, there's a few other players. I'm gonna group these three together. Of course, there are also young players you played with. The big ones. You had Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez. They're all young players. And they also formed that trio, With them specifically, of course, I know you had that close friendship with Tevez, for example. Tell us about Tevez a little bit, and tell us about when he came in. Of course, he came from West Ham first, right?
Yeah.
What was he like?
La Pache. We all know the boss used to call us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I told you.
Which one are you?
Come on.
He's the bad man.
No, and I was surprised because people, G is my brother, but he can be bad. He's a shy guy, but of course Ferguson always say I was a gangster and I was the bad. So of course the good was G and the ugly I don't know. It's one
We'll leave that up
person
for
left.
debate, yeah.
No, but Carlito, what I like about it, he doesn't lie to himself, After some time when we were like having a day off and we were going out, he was just kissing his boots and it was Patrice, I'm ugly, but these boots, they make me do whatever I want. So,
how do you guys talk to each other in the beginning?
it was funny, nobody couldn't understand or we can communicate. So no, because G English was actually good, but he's shy.
Yeah.
So my Spanish, I was always translate for Carlito, but we were always together. And I remember a story with Carlito. We played against City, we won. Then the next day, we went, Carlito and I, to San Carlo. We had a dinner. Then a lot of picture came out the next day in the paper. Then Ferguson the next day come to my office. And he said, this is the last time you eating with Carlito Tevez. I said, but boss, this is my brother, no matter he left. I don't care. Next time eat in your house. I don't want you to see you in the paper with any City player. He destroyed me.
Wow.
The boss couldn't understand, but no, Carlito, we stay close. I was really sad. Carlito, even if he did amazing at City, he had only one picture and wearing a football shirt was United.
Yeah.
So I was actually really hurt. It was after the final 2009. I think he was staying. There's a lot of story. I don't want to go in detail, but the fan, they love him the same way they were loving when Rooney, because they were crying, like pressing like crazy. I promise you, as a defender, when you had Rooney and Tevez in the front, you're just playing like this in your sofa. The ball will just come nice and easy because they were doing a crazy job.
Yeah. I think that, to be honest with you, like, Ferguson, he doesn't make many mistakes. I think for me, that was one of the ones. Tevez was so big for that team. Yeah. And I did think, I love Berbatov. I had his kid as a kid and all that. But going from Tevez to Berbatov is a different style.
It was tough.
Yeah, it's a different style.
I feel sorry for Berba, because if you ask me, the most technically player I ever play is Berba. But coming back to what you just say, what Berba had an issue with the fan, because he wasn't pressing the same way as Waza and Tevez, and they love that. They are working people. But yeah, and he creates that confusion, and Carlito and start to argue also with Ferguson why he was not playing enough, and Berbatov was a new player. Yes, but when you play for United, if you want to win every trophy, you need like 4 striker world class, like no 1 or 2, 4. So I blame Ferguson, yes and not, because that's the standard at United. But yeah, definitely when Berba, then Carlito have his exit door. But it was a sad moment.
He made City better, and he was the difference that made City be able to catch up with United.
Don't get me wrong. You remember when Carlito, I remember, he went in the middle of the season, he went in Argentina because he had enough of Mancini. He was there playing golf with his new girlfriend and everything. We were so happy. Then when they fixed the problem and he came back, all the squad, even Ferguson, we were like, we're in trouble. He came back, I think he
scored a hat-trick.
And he did this, but this is Carlito.
Because it's like a new signing. Midway through the season, Tevez comes back to your team. It's crazy.
When he came back, we say we are in trouble, to tell you how much we fear Carlito.
And you talk about 4 strikers, that City team. Like Aguero, Dzeko, Balotelli, Tevez, them getting them back, mental. But when Tevez left for City, and then he started doing like the celebrations and like he was doing the dances in the dressing room, I'm sure people were getting annoyed at Tevez, right? Like
we were. I know the story behind the scene. He wanted to hurt Ferguson.
Yeah, because he thinks, why didn't you sign me?
Yeah, he wasn't the fan. You remember the big billboard they put, welcome to Manchester with him. I think all the marketing was in purpose to hurt Ferguson. Yes, I'll be honest, like when we play against City, I was like tackle him like really hard or whatever, but we are brothers. But yeah, it's a painful. When I talk about this story, it's really painful for me.
It was avoidable as well, because we had 2 years. It was a 2-year loan. We had 2 years in which to make it perm, and he was ready to go perm at United whenever. And we were singing, the fans, and we were singing, Fergie, sign him up, Fergie,
I remember.
And we were desperate for him to sign. And then when he didn't, it wasn't the fans' fault they didn't sign it, so the club decided against it. So when he joined City, that really hurt the fans.
And you got 25 million is how much they bought him for.
No, more. It's like 50.
No, I think it was 25 million.
No, the Asian takeover.
Oh, okay.
It was
the agent took 25 too.
It was Asian commission.
Fair. But I looked at that summer, we let go of Ronaldo as well too. We were bringing in Walders like Michael Owen, who was kind of towards the end of his career. I look at decisions like that, like we should have stayed at the top. We had just almost won the Champions League. We won the league. And we're letting Tevez and Ronaldo go. I remember at the time, I was just like,
That's weird because it was funny because then the Glazers were clearly like just tighten the purse strings for Fergie. Fergie had to do whatever he could. So he got Owen on a free. Valencia for whatever. Wasn't much. Obertan for whatever, for $1 million or something. Yeah. And then when Ferguson left, and then we started to struggle, that's when they suddenly just started throwing money at the problem, and then $1 billion gone after 10 years. Now, if they'd invested that, Fergie, he could have left a much stronger legacy.
100%. You look at the likes of Hazard going around that time, Aguero, those are players we should have really been bringing in.
He wanted to spend the money. He wanted to.
100%. On the subject, because I was going to say, the next season was when Rooney kind of like took over the realms. But if we're talking young players, you saw Wayne Rooney kind of early on, with Ronaldo as well too. Now, I think we saw like what both ended up going on to do towards the end of their career. But the early days, I always kind of felt like they were pretty close, neck and neck, until that one season where Ronaldo just took off.
It's good you say that. To be honest, when I see the real Wayne Rooney is when Cristiano left the club.
Yeah.
That's when I remember that World Cup club we play in Asia. And Nemanja Vidic gets sent off, I think, after 15 minutes. And Waza was playing left winger. I was the left back. He ran for me. He was just a machine. Don't get me wrong. Also, when he played against France, when he carried like Lilian Thuram and like keep running, he was a beast. But I think Waza is a really generous player. So he was make sure to give, like Waza actually prefer to give assists than score goal. Yeah. So him and Cristiano was perfect. But I just feel like when Cristiano left, it was like, okay, now it's my time, it's my team, it's my responsibility. But yeah, I remember when I signed for United, the first training session, I feel like, the Hummer, the car, he can destroy everything. I seriously, like the power when Rooney have, when he got the ball. And even, he's not a technical player. Don't ask Waza to do any Joca Bonito or stuff. If you see all his commercial, he was just like shooting, just powerful. Striking. That's why. But his technique of the way he strike the ball, and he learned a lot from Paul Scholes, was just unbelievable.
Oh, you say so? He learned a lot from Paul Scholes.
Yes, a
lot. In training, were they working on it like?
But you can see at the end that's why Waza wanted. Even though he wanted to play midfield.
Yeah. Yes,
he wanted to play midfield.
He was looking good there as well.
He got the vision on.
He literally said recently, Van Gaal came in whatever 2015, 2016. He said, "I want you to play like how Mario Gomez used to play for me at Bayern." And when he recently said, he said, "If you're gonna ask me to play like that, I'd rather just play midfield. Like I'm not interested in just sitting up front."
Yeah, I heard he had like a top scorer season and he still said, "I didn't enjoy that season as a striker. I want to play deeper."
He's a generous. He want to control the game or whatever.
Footballer, man.
He was looking good there for Van Gaal. And then Mourinho came in and said, "You're not going to play midfield," and that was the end of it.
Towards the end, as well too.
That's it. So when we talk about young players, and of course we could talk about loads of Man United players forever, and of course we'll move on to other clubs and talk about more things, but I want to ask about one specific player because we always hear in the academy or coming up, he was the best. And he must have trained with you or played with you coming up through the team. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Ravel Morrison. Right? I want to hear from you because, okay, for me, I like him because he's an Arsenal fan and he doesn't lie about that.
He's confused, that's why.
He's not confused. He knows.
He's straight away from the light. That's the problem. Yeah.
But I always hear this, so you've trained with him.
It will be really simple. Ravel is I grew up in the street. Ravel is a player from the street.
100%.
And he forget to leave the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's his only issue. Like gifted, talented, you can talk about Pogba, Jess Lingard and all of that. Rio is not exaggerated. And Ferguson loved the kids. Ferguson know he got this because he also got this fire, this surviving mood. But the problem is his entourage, and sometimes this is really important. And Ravel did a lot of naughty things, Manchester cover a lot of things. But yeah, when you don't get rid of the streets, sometimes you need the street to build a character. Like people, I never done any academy, but I built my personality. When people say, "What is like playing in front of 75,000 people or whatever?" No, what is it like to survive in the street?
Yeah.
So you already experience, like even if you're 10 years old, you're already like 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And this help you, but in the moment you have to leave the street and be focused and being more professional. And I think that's what's missing with Ravel. But technically, he do whatever. He decide when he wants. I remember a story. I think maybe this story went out. he stole the shoes of Paul Scholes.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And they catch him on camera.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of silly things, you know, he will do. So this is Ravel, you know.
It's full Scholes though, man.
What a lovely
It's like,
kid.
you know, like Mike, the film.
Yeah.
When he put the shoes on, you think you turn it
they,
like Scholes.
they show him the video. He went in the dressing room, like stealing the shoes.
Space Jam
That's
stealing
the kind of stuff.
Yeah. But in training, could you, like, when he's playing with, because that team, the
He
first
was training
team
with us.
amazing.
Yes, but that's what I say.
And
no
was he
fear.
even in training? Like,
No fear. He came. He said, like, I'm the man. I don't care about how many Premier League you won.
Wow.
This is the opposite of what Paul Pogba did when he came. I remember the first training session. Giggsy, Scholes, they smash him. Everyone Pogba. Then I remember after the training, he was like, Tonton Pat, like, they hate me. Why everyone keep like kicking? I say, bro, keep crying.
Yeah.
If you keep crying, they're gonna even broke your leg.
Yeah.
So you see you're a beast, show them.
Yeah.
And the next day, Paul Pogba come in the training, boom, get off strong. That's when he get the respect also from the senior player, from Ferguson. But unfortunately, his agent already made the deal with Juventus, and we know the story.
Giggs was speaking to Rio recently. He was saying the training sessions that you guys used to have when a new player comes in were like, it's like basically like brutal. Like they test the first.
But what?
They test. If
you have that experience,
Wait a minute. You say just when a player come in,
or
every day?
in general, but especially when a new player comes in,
I
it's like
want
a
to
test.
tell people, and this is the truth. You know, many training sessions Ferguson have to stop because we were like fighting, like we were a family, but in training we hate each other.
Yeah.
It was like no friend. The tackle were flying. To play for United is like 10 times more difficult to train with United than play on the Sunday. Actually, on the Sunday or the Saturday was a recital. Was just like a test. Was normal. No, but it's insane. But imagine me as a defender. Van Nistelrooy, Tevez, Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Giggs, Scholes, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, going to play in the weekend against, I play without fear because I'm dealing with those monsters every single day.
True,
and like I say, like in the game, the way we were shouting and arguing, you can't even imagine. I remember my first training session, Cristiano just lost his dad, and Carlos Queiroz was refereeing the little game, and he gave a foul to Cristiano. And imagine Van Nistelrooy, Cristiano just lost his dad. He said, oh, there we go, Carlos Queiroz, your new dad. Like that. Cristiano start crying, they start fighting, and we trained like just 30 minutes. My first training session, it was like welcome to Manchester.
Your first training session was that training session?
First session was 30 minutes. Because of this fight, they start fighting, and Ferguson said, let's go in. He's no friends. Like, trust me, we were bullying each other.
That stuff could never happen in today's game. I think the game is so much softer these days. Like, stories like that, I don't think could ever happen.
Never. It will never happen. I always even say, like, if Ferguson was coaching right now, he will probably end up in jail. Like, people keep asking me, there's no way Ferguson won't be in jail with what he have done to him.
He's throwing boots at people, come on.
Oh, come on. You know many players I saw cry because he gave them the hair dryer and throwing boots. This is our not story. We just tried.
Yeah.
He was evil.
It's real men though. Huh? It's like
he's a winner.
He's a working class.
He's a winner.
But the proper rivalries died when he retired.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's those spicy rivalries.
That's amazing. Wenger, Ferguson, Mourinho.
Ferguson, you're not allowed to swap your shirt.
He will
destroy
you see the Manchester derbies now with Maguire and Stones at the end. It never happens back then.
Now it's normal. It's a different time. And
the tunnel was like a christening beforehand. Everyone was hugging each other. And swapping stories.
Who was the best trainer at the time, by the way? Like, in terms of who's the best in training, the most impressive? Like, he just looks ridiculous in training.
For me, Van Nistelrooy.
Really?
Wow. I never, like, if we could have recorded some goal Van Nistelrooy score in the training, seriously, it was unbelievable. Wow. The most dedicated, I will say, Cristiano. Cristiano training at 10, he will show up at 8. We in the shower, he keep like practicing. The worst trainer, Tevez. You're gonna laugh, Carlos Tevez. He will come
Rio said it,
like sleepy, like he don't even want to train, but people doesn't know because Carlito is someone he liked to train on himself. So at home he had a treadmill and everything, the gym. But man, in the weekend when the game starts, he will run for everyone.
Yeah. And it takes a good manager to know that as well. So I'm guessing Ferguson knows. Okay, I can trust him on the weekend.
Don't get me wrong. I play with so many players in training. They are like Zidane, Ronaldinho. Soon as the kickoff in, shit himself.
It's different.
It happens. It's different.
It's different. Players different. And so to be in that kind of dressing room, to be in that changing room, and to be in training with, like you're saying, for young players to come up from an academy to train with you guys. Of course, we spoke about Ravel Morrison, Pogba, there's players like Danny Welbeck, all these kind of young players. Yeah. For them, that must have been, like you said,
sink or swim.
It's like sink or swim, yeah. And
it's scary. I'll be honest, I feel sorry for them. Even like, I remember Welbeck, we had a friendly game in Saudi, and we played for just a friendly for a Prince, and we had a penalty, and I give the ball to Welbeck, and Danny missed the penalty. But we finished, we lost the game, but it was like a friendly, it was like 45-minute game. When in the dressing room, Ferguson, Welbeck, looking at, and I remember me and Welbeck, we were in the toilet, Welbeck was having his pee, like Ferguson was shouting, who the you think you are? You come in the first team, you take a penalty, you're gonna and I was, boss, no, but it's okay, boss, the friendly game, you're gonna never, like, to tell you, it's like, no favor.
That's class.
The French team, right, obviously played with a lot of great youngsters. I did this video at the time about Lyon, and it was about Benzema and Ben Arfa specifically. But that whole generation, I think you guys call it Génération 87.
Exactly.
Like with Benzema.
Allez, Algérie. 1, 2, 3, voilà Algérie.
I love it. But that generation of Benzema, Ben Arfa, Menez, Nasri, that kind of came in between the Zidane era and then obviously the era now where they're winning. And I always think it's like kind of a lost generation because France wasn't doing too much in the tournaments. But
I will tell you the reason why. Because I was the ring, because I have a way to communicate with the old generation and the young generation. So I was in the middle. So the problem with that, I would say with the 98, the World Cup winner and all of that, is they didn't want it to let it go. France was for them. Yeah. So when they saw the Benzema, Ben Arfa, Sami, it was quite like a jealousy. It's been like the worst tournament is not even 2010. It's 2008. The team we had, but they couldn't agree with each other. The old generation and he was like fight every French people. We like to fight and protest. We got this inside our DNA. So like you say, this is the lost generation. But Benzema, Nasri, Ben Arfa, Menez, the talent they got.
Names.
If they have the space to play at the high level, especially in the French national team, but it was too much drama.
In terms of talent-wise with those guys, like how good were they? I mean, Benzema at 20 years old, I remember he destroyed United.
Ben Arfa.
The best.
Ben Arfa, I never see something like that. But it's crazy because Ben Arfa, he doesn't care. Yeah. He's just he's living another world. Now I think he loves playing.
He's a paddle player. He's a paddle player, professional paddle player.
I mean, you see a little bit of Ben Arfa when he signed for Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a moment.
If you ask to any Newcastle fan now about Ben Arfa, man, he make them dream. This is at him. Yeah. But I don't know. One game he will come in the training and he say, I don't want to train today. Yeah. Like from nowhere. He's like that. I think those players more like psychologically. Nasri, for me, his biggest mistake is when he signed for City instead of United.
Should have come to us. Thank you. I said the same thing.
No, but I will tell you because I was helping to. I was but I will tell you what's happened. Thank you. Say that.
Sir Alex took him to the hotel.
No, wait. So I talk like the dad of Sami Nasri. He say United is for you. Yeah. Don't go anywhere else. He agreed the term and everything. Wow. So I remember we were going in a preseason, we were on holiday. Then I text him, I say, Samir, what time you coming? If you want me to come and, we go into training together. No answer. Then Ferguson, he came. He said, did you see, did you see your French boy what he did? I said, no. He says he's going to sign for City. I said, no, boss, you're joking. Yeah. Then I called Samir. He didn't answer because he was, how you say it, he was feeling guilty, Then he sent me a text. He said, Patrice, I signed for City. And they're offering I think something like $1 million more than United per year. But he already agreed with David Gill and Ferguson. So I say, you know what? Good luck, bro. Then when they won the league, I remember I passed next to him. They were celebrating. And I say, are you happy? Yeah, you make the right choice. You know, you win the league. He say, I made a mistake.
Wow.
When he won the league he say, Patrice, I made a mistake. I should have signed for United. And he won. He just won the league because he knew what he could have become. You know, as Arsenal player, he was a good player.
He
but
was a very
I
good
think
player.
at United, we couldn't make it as a beast. He will become a monster, clinical, and he will have that discipline because Ferguson will not, like player like Nasri, you have to lock them down.
100%.
You have to lock them
100%.
down. But talent,
he was one of my favorite players.
and like confident, and I love like extreme arrogant, but he's not arrogant. I love that because Samir was like, I'm the best of this. If you ask Samir, he will say, I'm better than Benzema, I'm better than Ben Arfa or Dembele or whatever. Even if he's not, maybe. But I love the fact he believe in that. Yeah. And when he show you what he can do, you see what he did
Arsenal.
when he was Arsenal.
Against Fulham. He scored, I think, a brace against you guys. He scored against Man United.
Marseille boy, you do whatever.
I wanted him at United so bad, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
goodness.
deal done.
Such a
deal done.
Dude.
Ian and Ribéry.
Yeah. Oh man, the names.
Back onto a couple more young players you played with. So we're gonna go into. So with Man United, and then it was.
We did
Monaco, Juventus.
Before we move on, I want to ask quickly about one last thing for Man United.
Go ahead,
because
you're the United fan.
I was watching the Man United game yesterday, and they had Nani come on. Nani was speaking to Owen Hargreaves in schools, and they were kind of talking about Nani, Anderson, Hargreaves. They all kind of came in that same summer, and you guys won the Champions League that year. How much of like a jolt of like energy did they kind of give you? Not just in terms of how good they were, but also like the youthfulness, because they were saying Ronaldo and Nani, they're always talking in the dressing room, you can't understand them. Did they kind of give you a spark?
A massive spark. They were just young, coming here, fearless, playing their game. You know, actually, I feel Nani didn't get the credit he deserved.
I wish I could shake your hand right now. I wish I could shake your hand.
No, but people don't.
Yeah, come on.
People don't realize Nani was good. So Nani made like two mistakes. One, he wanted to become the new Cristiano Ronaldo instead of become Nani.
Yeah.
And second, you know, he wanted also that number 7 shirt. So he wanted to do everything what Cristiano achieved instead of being Nani. And Nani is a player, when you give him love, he can do everything. People don't know Nani can shoot more, have more power in his leg than Cristiano in free kick. But Cristiano also wasn't letting him taking the free kick in a training, yes, but not during the game. Is electric player, terrific player. And also he annoyed player like Waza, because Nani, instead of like crossing first time, he was chopping and chopping. Yeah. So I think it was more like communication and relationship with the team. But Nani, when you see the goal he scored, trust me, playing against Nani is not easy at all. So big shout out to my brother Nani, because
you must come up against him a lot in training.
Oh, me is easy. Me is easy. It's the ball or the player. It can be both. I say that to Cristiano, to Nani. If you want to do your YouTube skill, I broke your legs. So you have no. It's not like they're gonna ridiculous me or whatever. They know, and after they sweep aside. Because they know training or whatever, I'm like serious. You want to try to come to humiliate me? I broke your legs.
Of course. How do they react to that? Because obviously I've heard famous stories how they both were very emotional young players where they couldn't get the hair dry treatment. What about from the players?
He yells at Rooney to get the Nani.
From the players, how do they respond to stuff like that where they knew training was aggressive?
I think we were bad people, to be honest. To be honest, when I think about that, I want to apologize to all the youngsters. They come training with us. No, guys, we were animals. You know,
winners.
The best example of Nani is when we play at Anfield, and Carragher, Jamie just tackled Nani, and I remember because I was the first, I come close, so I see a little bit like the bone. So it was quite a serious tackle. Yeah. Then we all come, Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes, and Paul Scholes come last. And I remember when he saw Nani crying on the floor, he just looked, he said, "F*** off." Left. We said we have to let him die. Like actually the feeling was a United player, you can cry at Anfield. And worse for Nani is half time. Ferguson just, where is Nani? And I remember Nani was in the massage table. The doctor was like doing something. He said, I hope your legs is broke. I really hope your legs is broke. Hope you like a United player can cry on field. Yeah. So for us, it was perfect. You know what we were waiting after the game? The next day, the way we were going to kill Nani. Then Ferguson come in the dressing room and he say, guys, Nani won't come to training for at least 1 week. I think he need to recover mentally. We were like, oh shit, we can't like destroy Nani. To tell you how nasty we were. Yeah. Like we didn't care. You bleeding, you cry, you're done. You're not part of us. And Ferguson have to give him like a week off to recover from that because we were waiting to kill him. And even now in the Man United, we have a WhatsApp group. We still put that picture and just killing him.
Wow. I was gonna say, I really, the reason I shook your hand, right, is because I also agree. I think Nani these days gets massively underrated because when I look at his whole game, he could shoot with his left, his right, his skills, the cross, the speed. I think to myself, I look at a lot of the wingers right now. How many of them end up just going, passing backwards? Or cutting in. Yeah. And I know Nani was...
chance. Nani is no one winger right now in the level.
I genuinely think if he was available now, he'd go for 100
talking
million.
about... I Saka, so much respect and all. But guys, Nani, like he say, he get the ball, he just get at you. Then he can do it so easily. Instead of like passing the ball, crossing... he will do.
He was doing kick-ups against us.
He was doing whatever he wanted. Exactly.
I will never forget
because he enjoys. He's a bowler.
I genuinely think if he was available today in today's game, he's going for 100 million. I honestly think that.
Even more, bro.
I used to argue when I had my season ticket at Old Trafford. I used to argue with the fans around me about Nani because I love wingers, so I'm very patient about wingers. So if they risk the ball and they lose it dribbling, I don't mind because they can lose it 3 or 4 times, but there's gonna be that moment where they beat 2 or 3 men and get an assist.
They get you off the assist.
And when he wants,
when he wants, he can win a game.
When he wants,
I remember one fan who's just like, off Nani, we're going to loan you out to Preston.
He was frustrating though. Nani was frustrating.
I'd be arguing with him. I'm like, no, Nani's my guy.
But that's the thing. He's frustrating, but he's capable of just the brilliant. Honestly,
that's why I love Garnacho. A lot of people like divides opinion of Garnacho. I love Garnacho. I don't mind when he risks the ball and he does silly things because I know he's capable of brilliant things that other people aren't capable of doing. Because
but
there's a different level of talent. I didn't want to say it, but it's true.
He's more clinical. Is nothing to compare with Garnacho.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I just look at the talent. Oh man, Nani could have been. I mean, he was very good.
I'm glad you said
it. He was. Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, maybe he could have had a better career. You'd say. I want to actually feed into what you guys are doing now because we'll carry on. You've got obviously Monaco, Juventus, West Ham. I want to actually like use this time now to talk about what you guys do and the reason why we're talking about young players. Tommy, I'll let you start. Talk to us about player. Right, what you guys are working on, why we're talking about young players today, and of course we're talking about young players in Pat's career, but there are so many young players in football today that, you know, either play non-league, play in academies, who of course deserve more eyes on them, and of course that's what you guys are doing now. So tell us more about what you guys do now with young players and a player.
Yeah, we basically built a LinkedIn for footballers.
Yep.
We essentially built LinkedIn for footballers, which is, you know, we want it to be the biggest and best community of players globally. So we're starting in England with, generally speaking, 18 to 21-year-olds, boys and girls, either those in academies or recently left an academy or those playing non-league football. So if you're looking at the men's game, you're looking at National League down to Step 4. If you're looking at, or some exceptions, and if you're looking at the Women's League, you're looking at National League, so Tier 3, Tier 4. And so you've got 2 kinds of players. You've got maybe the young professional, just got their first pro contract. They're not really using our platforms for the utility of getting recruited, but they want to be part of this elite football community. And then you've got the players who are using it as their digital footballing CV. So their profile with their club history, their stats, their video content, their references from coaches, their physical data, and they can just share it as a link on WhatsApp or email to a scout or an agent who can just click on it, look at the player, get a sense for them, and decide whether they're going to watch their 90-minute videos or whether they're going to go watch them in a game. And we've had players going pro already. We've had pro contracts. We've had players, 5 players,
semi-pro.
Yeah, a few guys going pro, several going semi-pro. We've got 5 on pro trials starting this pre-season, and then we've been putting on showcase games as well against pro clubs. So we played Spurs on Wednesday. We ran them all the way.
Spurs?
Nah, not quite.
They weren't beat. Lost 3-2. That's a team that you put together.
Yes,
from that. That's amazing.
Yeah. They met for the first time. Some of them.
That's amazing.
And we pushed them all the way. It was Spurs under 21s, and we pushed them all the way. Lost 3-2. maybe showed them a bit too much respect, but no, they weren't being Spursy that day.
No, but like you say, I think player is like a linking for football player, and for myself, it was no-brainer when Tommy and we start discussing about the project because it's giving back to the community. I never had the chance, to do like some showcase where it's a lot of scouts, like you say. Young players are so talented, but sometimes they need like exposure. And with the player app, I think it's just amazing. You can't, the amount of people say thank you. My son is on the platform and whatever. We really look like for also everyone, but also elite player. We want the platform to be like quality, because like you say, we playing like showcase against Tottenham. We're gonna play against Chelsea, Man United, or whatever. Is to give also a second chance. And also some players sometimes they get released from their pro contract with a big club, and you don't understand, like sometimes their dream just like fall off, and it's really tough. But those players, I'm like, no, you get another chance, because also coming to our platform is also opening yourself to my also network. So we do everything we can for those players to achieve their dream. But it's not easy to get in the platform. We're looking for 2,500.
We're onboarding about 2,500 players over the next 3 months. So that's 700 a month.
700 a month. But yeah, it's like something serious. But like I say, I achieved so many things in my life. And my mom always said, more you give, more you receive. So that's why I'm here actually in London. We have like a lot of interview, a lot of things to do. But I'm doing it really for those kids, because they deserve it. They deserve the support.
It's something that's kind of like my passion now as well, of course, because for me, it's like, yes, I have a platform and I'd love to and of course it's a football platform, love to help people potentially get looks. And of course, you spoke about the Spurs game. Who scored both the goals?
Zakaria Hassan.
Sak Hassan, good friend of mine. Yeah. Good friend of mine as well, Sak Hassan. Of course, he's a good football player who, of course, has been playing right now for Hashtag. He's playing in Baller League right now. He's doing really well.
You didn't manage to sign him in the transfer window.
I was going to draft him. And then the transfer window, they weren't. John Terry was not going to let him go, because he plays for John Terry's team. JT he's one of his best players. So, but I'm happy for someone like Sak, who I think is a very good football player, who is still a young player who deserves to get a look in, Yeah. And what you guys are doing is really good, especially with, you could just send that profile, like you said.
Yes, it's like
it's, I'm guessing it's super detailed, of course, with videos,
everything, video,
history, and
also like pro player, for example, I don't know, like Lamine Yamal or whatever. People can like just put something like well done, and you don't realize the impact it can have of those players, like a professional player.
So you can like send comments and like.
It's like a social media. It's a social media. That's why I say, if you want, is like the baby between Instagram and LinkedIn. That's for
football players.
That's incredible.
I think it's a great idea. So how
Sak, on the topic
go ahead.
Sak, so he's someone. I mean, Hashtag. If I know his contract's running out there, they will be like heartbroken to lose him, because I think it's 30 GA this season.
Wow.
He's into that prime age, 24. I know there are loads of National League clubs watching him at the moment, and the way he performed against Spurs, he just took ownership, man. He just like, his dribbling is electric. He's such a good player. He's one of those who's probably quicker on the ball than he is off it, but he's not slow.
Yeah.
We played him out of position in the first half. We still scored in from the 10, and when we moved him to the wing, my God, I was so glad we did when we made that move.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, there are a bunch of players like that though. We have a guy called Toby Byron, left-footed centre back. Wingate and Finchley in step 3.
Yes,
he's massive. He's fast. He's very technical. He's a dream. And this isn't just me because I'm biased because it's my platform. We hired Neil Harris from Man United, 21 years working in the academy, talent ID.
Good guy.
He works on talent ID for Premier League clubs. When I come out of the showcase, I'm like, him. He's like, no. And he narrows it down to 2 or 3 because he's got that eye.
He knows,
he's got that eye, that special eye. So but he's like, Toby Byron's a unicorn. Like if he's not playing National League or League 2 after this summer, I'll be shocked. And one of the things he's saying, because he goes to watch all these games in all these leagues, and Neil was saying, like, there are players I see week in, week out at that level who are not as good as Toby. And it's just a question of luck, circumstance.
There's so many factors. There's so many factors that it's like right place at the right time, or being seen by the right person, or other like you said, circumstances.
I don't like the word luck. I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's more about dedication and I would say timing.
Yeah.
I think in life, timing is
eyeballs as well.
Is really important. But I mean, like, I can talk for hours about my experience, but when you believe in yourself, and a lot of people was telling me you're too short, or you're from the street, maybe you're gonna steal in the dressing room or whatever. But I was keep believing in myself. So it's also just like working hard if you want to do an extra. I remember my first son, he said, "You want to play football?" I said, "Okay, let's go for a run." He said, "No, where's the ball?" I said, "Then you don't want to play football."
Yeah.
Because this new generation, they want everything fast. But no, it's a journey, it's a process. Are you ready to suffer? That's the question.
But we started getting Premier League clubs inviting us to come talking to their first and second year scholars because they want their scholars on the platform. Because most, as we know statistically, if you're in an academy age 17, 18, the vast majority are going to get released. That's just the reality of it. So clubs want their players proactively on our platform. So when they do leave, they're prepared for life after academy football. They're not starting at ground zero. They've got so much visibility and way more interest than if they were just relying on their agent. And that's another thing. We're not here to replace the agents. We work with them. I've spent half my life on LinkedIn because I used to run a recruitment company. So we've built this for the agents as well to help them with their existing players and to find new players.
And I want to give the example also discipline. You remember the game, the showcase against West Ham, and one player came late. And he say he didn't see his phone, the time was changing. Oh no, it was a woman. It was a woman, she came late and told me and the coach, they were filming. She said like, she's not going to play. You come late, just sit down. And she was like, finding excuse. Then I talked with Tommy and the coach. I said, come on, let's give her a chance at least second half. Because I went to her, I said, why you late? She tell me all this. I say, it's no excuse. Like you have to take your chance. We are here to make sure, you find a club. If you don't show the discipline and the respect, just coming on time, or you want us to trust you. And I say, now the only thing you can do, you're going to come on second half, maybe play only 20 minutes. You have to score at least one goal. Because they all tell me like you're amazing, and she come on, she scored a goal. She scored two. Actually, she scored two. I forget. So it's the kind of example, the discipline.
Muna,
not joking with the discipline.
Muna Eze.
Ex-Brighton, what a player.
Wow.
What a player.
Question for you, by the way. I'd love to come to a showcase game. Can I come to a showcase?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to just come and watch a game.
Well, they've got two coming up. We're playing against the Welsh champions, the New Saints, in their stadium.
Fair
They're going to be using VAR. They asked if they
really?
VAR. Yeah, which will be the first for us.
Nice.
So that'll be against their first team. So that'll be a good test. And they want to actively recruit from us, so it's great for the players. And then Feyenoord, so him and RVP hooked up the final game mid-July in Rotterdam.
Nice.
So that could be
You hurt him when you say it.
Yeah, no, me made me happy.
It's okay. Yeah, no.
That's really good. So do you manage the team as well? Or do you like?
Yeah, I mean like some showcase. I just tell them, how lucky they are to see all those people like working hard for them. I didn't have that chance when I was at their age. And like saying a talk, what I think about their first half, their second half. Of course, I'm traveling a lot, so I'm not be able to come to every showcase. But when I'm there, I'm part of it because I need to make sure they understand. Like we really want them to succeed. So of course, he's my app, my business partner. So the full support.
He's doing some off-season training with some top-tier academy youngsters in the summer as well. So like just some sharpening work just to keep them sharp while during the holidays.
Of course, in off-season, amazing. So how can people join? Especially as I'm sure there's a lot of young aspiring football players that are watching this. Can you let them know how they can?
There's a sign-up link.
You have to be good.
Step one. You have to be good. Don't have two left feet. Make sure you actually want to. You're at the level. But step two.
So there's a process. So there's a sign-up link. Join.playerapp, one word. .co, and then you sign up, and then our community team gets in touch, assesses what level you're at. If you're at the right level to come on, then yes. I mean, ultimately, we are going to open it up at some point, but at the moment, we just need to keep that density of talent.
Quality over quantity at the moment.
For sure.
I agree. And also the social pages are on the screen right now as well, and in the description. Player App FC is the handle for the Instagram page, so check it out. Like they said, of course, there's so much opportunities for you guys. If you are at the level that you think you could be playing at a high level, and you are, of course, a young aspiring football player, there you go. That could be a chance to be seen.
Sounds good for Baller League, huh?
Players.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players, and like I said, and a lot of players are watching this are currently playing in Baller League who are very young that are really showing themselves. Like Brian Lee right now has got 17 goals and like they're already top scorer, like 21. Tyler Winters, 19 years old, who got released from Peterborough, who's obviously shown how good he is. So there's so many young players from Baller League as well that are.
We actually need to go through that. We need to go through the full list because obviously you've been on.
I know every player in this league
because we've got Toby Bull, Leo Seri,
great player,
Abdullah Javed, Sak Hassan.
Are they all in the app?
Ross Derham,
top players. Ross Derham,
brilliant.
like Toby Bull, top keeper, currently playing at Lewis.
He played against Spurs.
Yeah. Was he at the game?
Yeah. My God, he's got
Bull playing goalkeeper.
Distribution.
He's played for Brighton. Yeah,
unreal. No backlift, just bang, pings it like across.
He used to play for Brighton. Yeah, of course. But yeah, so guys, check it out for sure. Juventus now. There's a couple players, young players, of course. Like before you talk about players, I think you famously said when you went to Juventus, you've never trained in terms of like that hard, or what was it like?
I feel like spending 9 years at United compared to 2 years and a half at Juventus. 9 years I was in holiday.
Yes,
I was in holiday.
That's mad. How hard must training have been at Juventus?
It's just another level. The training are just unbelievable. I saw player like vomiting when Zidane say that is actually true. And as a fullback, they want me to run like 15K every game, but we are Juventus, so we get the possession of the ball. So some game I will run 10K, 12K. Then the next day, it's not like a day, like a day off. The next day, you do the training session, then you have to compete the 15K.
Oh, so I feel like your stats.
every we have the GPS when I was at United. So at the end of the training, you know the distance and everything. Juventus, the analysis, they are the board of the game with the computer, so you can't cheat. When you have an exercise, you would say, "Oh, I'm tired." I guess no. We see your heartbeat rate. Run, like it's like live.
Wow.
But it's constant. Every week blood test. They control what you eat, whatever. When we go to bed at home, we have a machine. You put it before you sleep. You bring it at the club. If you don't bring in that machine at the club, you get fined because they know exactly how many hours you sleep. I'll be honest with you. I don't drink Coca-Cola, but when you play for Juventus, even if you drink Coca-Cola, you will scared to get injured at the training.
Wow.
I remember the first day I signed and I went to a restaurant. And I order like some carbonara pasta and everything. And the waitress, like, he doesn't know me. And he said, "Oh, Mr. Evra, be careful. Like, tomorrow you have training, you have to run." Like at the restaurant, they know this is their philosophy. Like, I remember me and Pogba, because it's not like a buffet like in UK, you go, you serve yourself.
Yeah.
So you have the waitress, they give you like the portion or whatever. And sometimes I saw some people with a big portion, someone like a normal, and some people with nothing. And me and Paul Pogba, we went in the kitchen, and actually you have the picture of each player, and you got a color. So if you have a green, you have a good portion, orange like medium, and I promise a green is like fasting, is like the Ramadan. You have nothing. So to tell you the level, but because the Italian have this culture, like if you don't give everything in training, you already have an excuse to lose the game. But it's a different level. Wow. I saw big player, I won't mention their name. They signed for Juventus. After 2 training sessions, they start crying. Wow. They were like, "This is not football." And his player, they play for a big club in Spain, you know what I mean? Or stuff like that. No, seriously, I never see that. And also, that's why you can't compare the league. I always say the Premier League is like, 2 fighters, you punch me, I punch you, the first get KO. Like in Italy, it's like a chess game. We do even video when we concede corner kick. When you consider corner kick, it's like a failure.
Wow.
And it's everything. So you have to be really mature, really patient. But man, you run like madness. And I be honest, I joined Juventus, I was 33. I never feel so better. Like even when I was 20, I never have this cardio. But my first 3 months, I really struggled. Because even the day of the game, you train at the stadium. Wow. You train. It's not like you go for a walk like we do in the Premier. You go training session. Of course, you do the set pieces, but you do like the skip, like lot of exercise. Every time I was asking, like, but the game is delayed. We're not playing tonight. Like, it's another level. It's another level.
Gary Neville, he literally he spoke that Juve team that they played in '99 or whatever.
Yeah, you think they are in drugs?
He said I genuinely thought they were doping because I've never seen a team that fit.
It's just the Juventus way. So, a couple young players, of course, we're running out of time. A couple young players there that I want to talk about. We've got written here, obviously, Pogba, we briefly talked about already. but Kingsley Coman and Dybala.
Yeah.
I will start with the Dybala.
Yes.
La Joya. I remember when he arrived, they kill him. They kill him even. Buffon, Chiellini, Barzali. They were like, come on, Patrice, this is not the shirt of Palermo. This is Juventus. It's a heavy shirt.
Yeah.
And Paulo, he said in an interview, I came to him. I said, Paulo, like, why you don't play free? The only player at the same touch of the ball, I promise you, I saw in my life is Messi and Dybala.
Wow.
Like the way, and I promise you, he shoot in goal, like 9 of the time will be on target. So I just say, free yourself. If we lose the game, they're going to destroy the senior player. But I never see a player so gifted. Even that kind of player, I was close to make the deal with Dybala. Last minute to join United.
I remember.
I talked with him. I was like pushing really hard. But like gifted player.
Wow.
Gifted player. So, and I know he will make it, but I was quite disappointed when he left Juventus.
And now he's in Rome.
He should have never left, but he had like some issue with Allegri back in the day. But La Joya, what a player. I will wish he was like signing for United.
That would have been big. You would have loved it.
I remember the summer.
And big personality.
He didn't want to leave Juve. I remember.
He lost his dad really early, so he was the leader of the family. So also like good personality, good kid.
Wow. No, 100%.
And Kingsley Coman, obviously another French
Coman,
player.
Kingsley Coman, man, this guy, I think he have an engine in his butt because the way he's like Chiellini, whatever. Any defender was scared to go against him. Again, in Italy, they have these things. If you're young, you can't play in Italy. Italy, they love the player over 30.
The senior, that's
senior player.
That's strange. For the rest of Europe, that's not a thing.
Exactly. If you're not,
so you loved it then.
If
33 arriving here.
No, I love it, but I feel sad also for the young player because I can see they have to play.
100%.
But they will give you a chance, and soon as you do a mistake, you don't have experience. You don't have the experience.
So which manager signed you?
Was it was
like
Conte?
It was Conte, yeah.
But Conte, he left. Then Allegri came, so I actually just play on the Allegri. But no, Coman, I was so sad because he could have played every single game, but he was just the Italian mentality. You're too young, and after you see what he did at Bayern, because he's also a player underrated, even in the French national team.
Yeah, sure.
But he's sharp. I play against sharp player, Aaron Lennon from Tottenham. And Coman, he stopped the ball. When he go, he's done.
Gone.
It's over. It's over.
Wow.
It's over.
He's a blur, man. Coman's a blur.
He left PSG. Then
his career,
the name went crazy.
There was a time where he always won the league.
He won the league every year except last season.
He won the league, and he won even the man of the match of Champions League final.
Yeah, he scored the winning goal.
Oh man, come on.
I had a debate with my friend. It was
bad boy.
in a race when all of them are at their fastest. Who would win? Henry, Mbappe, Dembele, Kingsley Coman.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win that race?
What distance we talking?
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask.
What's the short distance, like the
100 meters?
Yeah, 100 meters.
100 is not short.
100
is not short.
100?
I think 100 Mbappe win that.
All of them at their
No
fastest.
chance.
Kingsley. You see, I genuinely believe that. Yeah.
Trust
I
me.
think the power would kick in halfway.
No.
But Kingsley is like a blur. He's like a
and
blur.
Mbappe is long, like Kingsley is like.
Yeah.
That's
Speedy Coyote.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
He's fast, man.
I was going to think Mbappe as well. I was going to say something.
No.
Yeah,
I even think strides Henry might have him. I can't lie.
Henry,
Yeah, Henry might have him on the.
Interesting.
Yeah, this
And who's
fast.
other
He's
one?
taller, long legs.
Dembele, Dembele, he's fast too. they're all.
But Dembele is he's not explosive like a Kingsley Coman.
Yeah.
If you ask me,
Kingsley, he could be a runner,
like
honestly.
Kingsley,
Yeah.
Wow. And then you went to West Ham. So obviously there was. So what years were you at West Ham?
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice was there. Declan Rice played.
I think 17 or 18.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. So
I come at the end.
So,
Yeah, I think so,
a young
16.
Declan Rice was coming through.
Yeah.
What was he? He was a centre back those days, right?
I love Declan.
Do you think he'd end up being what he is now? Did you ever kind of see that from him? Really?
Yeah. You know why?
Why is that?
Because of his humility.
That's
it. If you ask me, he need to improve a lot of his game. Too many touch, but he always have the engine. And I remember, one day Declan come to me. He said, "Patrice, thank you so much. Every time you speak, all your words, I'm absorbing it. Please, tell me if you see me doing the wrong things." He was so humble, and he's such a nice person, but a hard worker. Like actually he enjoyed that. And that's why I was like, Declan, I'm not surprised the play he's become. Now I think he's even better because he's clinical, he's scoring more goals. He's really generous. I think sometimes he needs to save his energy. You see the game against PSG. I know everyone talk about when he came back and to do that tackle, but he shouldn't have done that if the team was at the right place and everything. So for me, he's still losing too much energy. And if he keep like scoring goal, no, for me, I was always no. I wouldn't say he will become a top player, quality player, but he can go to the top player. But he's just.
And did you think
he's just playing? He's just playing for the.
End up as a midfielder like this, or like an 8?
No, 100%. Yeah. Because even David Moyes always wanted him to play like more forward.
Wow.
It's not just a defensive midfield.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's playing for the wrong team, so I'm not.
He should have. United. That's a player. If Ferguson was at United, they would have signed him. At
100%.
I was surprised.
100%. But I think it was City. And
we were in a position to compete.
A few years ago, Solskjaer was in for him.
Solskjaer really wanted him.
There was a time where United fans wanted another player. I don't know how much you got to play with him. Reece Oxford. Were you there at the same time?
No,
I think Reece Oxford might have been a little.
He was before.
He
was before.
No.
It was before because he was another young West Ham player who
he came in.
Had his debut against
Arsenal.
us. It was unbelievable. Okay, so you didn't play. Okay, so you didn't play with him.
Let's go to the French national team.
Yeah, so before the French national team, last couple of things. West Ham was your last club.
Yeah.
I think you famously said that's when you realised, okay, the young game is different now.
Yeah.
Like football's changed.
Yeah.
Was there a specific moment you realised that?
It's when I start seeing like players looking at their phone at halftime. And checking, like the president, Sullivan, big respect because West Ham wanted me to keep going. I was like, still in shape. But I just realized, let me try. People doesn't know, before I retire, I trained 8 months with West Ham, still training without being paid. But just doing every training session, every meeting. Wow. The only things I didn't do was like going for the game.
Play match days, yeah.
And it was tough. You know why? I didn't want to let it go. And me and Thierry Henry come to my house and he said, well, Patrice, when do you retire? I said, no, I'm training. He said, can you try, Patrice, just to not going to training for one day and you see the second day how you feel. So I didn't train the next day. 2 days. Then my brothers start, now we need to enjoy you, Patrice. Let's go to party and stuff like that. Like you sacrifice your life and everything. And then I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
Then I didn't miss it. Then I realized actually it's not about the new generation coming in. It was something like more personal.
A routine that you couldn't let go of.
It was a routine I couldn't let, and even I still can't let it go. I need to go in the gym, not to stay in the shape, but it's like for my brain, like if I don't go in, I feel guilty.
You're a fighter.
I feel exactly. Not yet. I didn't do. I'm training like every day. I just flew this morning for your podcast, guys. But the training is hard. It's like two training sessions per day for the MMA, like 5 hours. Like even the coach, they're like, why are you doing this to yourself? But it's just like, I love that. I always say, like working out, suffering is a luxury. How many people will dream to be at my place? And I love working out. It's a blessing. That's the way I am. I'm a little bit crazy. But actually, yes. And I saw things also maybe because I was at West Ham when they were losing against Liverpool, stuff like that. They were quite okay. It's okay. We just we just lost 3-1. So it was against my nature. And I'm like, instead of like fighting with the young player, I just have to let it go. Anymore, even Marseille, when I came, I never tell the kids to come, before the gym, going in the gym, doing the prevention and everything. I show them by example, and one by one they were coming and all of that. So I was quite happy to be like, I would say the uncle part. Yeah. And I got the respect because no matter what I was achieving in football, if I play for Marseille or West Ham, I never come like I'm the. I remember David Moyes when he showed me the facility of West Ham when I signed, and he was like, "Sorry, Patrice, we're not allowed to." I said, "I don't care. We just have like 2 pitch for training. This is the most important, and the canteen and the chef is giving us food. That's more than enough." But it was just a person difficult. But I think the déclic was Thierry Henry. If Thierry Henry didn't told me, Patrice, just try, like stay home, like don't wake up and go to training, I will carry on. I 8 months. You can ask. Like,
8 months you're training,
no
pay,
no
just
pay,
no
pay.
I love this game. It takes it to another level, man.
Just showing off. Even the player, like even when what was the Spanish coach? He came for West Ham.
Oh,
Pellegrini. Here we go. We got the football Bible.
Chilean,
And even him, he was showing my example. Like he was like, this guy is not even on the contract. He's like running more than you guys, and he's like, I was 38,
Jeez.
but I just like enjoy it, like encourage it, like snapping in training when the player I was part of it. They was like, where you sign? I said no. It's not about signing, guys. I'm going to make a decision. And I didn't expect anything from West Ham having a new contract. It was just me being like addicted.
When you look at today's game, just like there's a player I really like, kind of in the same mold as a lot of these guys, Cherki at Lyon, Ryan Cherki.
Yeah.
Do you kind of see similar in terms of the talent, but maybe you just need to kind of lock him down like that?
I like Cherki. I think the gift he got, yes, is the same.
Yeah.
But he don't have the same personality than those guys, Benzema, Nasri, and Ben Arfa. I think he's too nice.
Too nice?
Yes. I think he's too nice. So maybe this can help him if he come in the Premier League or whatever, and you can actually structure it, because Benzema or Ben Arfa or Samir, if they don't decide, nobody will come and tell them to do that. Yeah. Apart Mourinho. Mourinho was the one, he transformed Benzema, because Karim told me, Mourinho did a press conference and they asked him, he said, I can't win because I've got only cats on the front. I need lions. And Benzema was telling me after 5 minutes, if he wasn't pressing and everything, Mourinho was sending Gonzalo Higuain, like warm him up. You know, when you're a striker, after 5 minutes, you look at the bench,
crazy.
You see like a striker, you're scared. You're not doing the right job. So that's the kind of things. Wow. And Benzema gives so much credit to Mourinho. He built him as a monster, and the rest is history.
But that's sink or swim management, though, isn't it?
I was going to say, if Mourinho did that today, it's impossible.
No,
it's impossible.
The new generation, listen, is everything different. When I was talking about Ferguson, back in the day, those young kids, they were coming and after training, cleaning our boots. Yeah. But for them, it was a reward. Oh my God, I'm cleaning the boots of Ronaldo,
it was an honor.
Rooney or Kingsley or whatever. Yeah. Now you do that to this young generation, they're gonna call the Asian. Oh, they make me clean they're gonna call it slavery.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. But like I say, I don't want to judge them. When Kino killed this generation on TV, is different. Yeah, it's different. The social media now, like players are not. Before we were like just football player. Now they are athletes. Yep. They are politicians. They are celebrity. They are fashion brand. They are everything. Rapper. They have too much distraction. So that's why I say to them, guys, this is not our generation.
Yes.
This is not. This is their generation. It's different.
It's different. There's no point making it.
You can't compare. It's different.
But listen, I know we could talk forever. But we're gonna have to wrap up there. The reason we speak about the young players and the best young players ever spoken about, like I said, was because Tommy and Evra have the player app. If you guys are young players, or you just want to see young players do well, or even know top young players that are playing at step 1 non-league level, step 2, step 3, even like players that are fresh out the academy, please check it out. The links are in the description. You can check it all out. Stay disciplined, like you said. You have to be good, but definitely
not like you come in the app and like you think it's holiday.
Yes, of course.
I just want to say one last thing. On this podcast, obviously, I talk about Man United a lot, and a lot of people think I'm overly critical about the team now because we're in 15th or whatever. No, that's what I always say, right? But the newer fans, they see me, they say, you're always complaining. This, what he's just told us now, is the reason why I'm so critical. Because this is the players I grew up on. This is the team I grew up on. And now he's even telling me stories beyond that. These guys were literally going to war in training. These guys were going against each other. Like, it's tough, man.
And I know, and you're not the only one. All my ex-teammates, Paul Scholes or Kino, people say, oh, you just talk negative. Because we know, wearing that shirt, actually you carry the history of on your back. Facts. And, traveling with Bobby Charlton. I remember when he was on the plane, I always had goosebumps because he was part of the Munich crash. But because we, the player, we love the story of the club. I read books, I watch DVD, but also we play for the badge and the fan. We didn't play for ourselves. We sacrificed because they are working people. It's a working industry in Manchester. So for them, those people like paying their rents and traveling, all of that, we feel all of that. That's why you have to give. I always say, I don't need Man United. I love Man United. It's a different way. And for Ferguson, I never been scared of Sir Alex Ferguson, but I was always scared to disappoint him. So this is the relationship. That's why people won't understand you. I understand you because this is a new generation. Because you feel we represent you. Thanks. You feel no matter. We lost like a game against Liverpool 4-1 at home. Remember when Steven Gerrard take the camera?
Yes. Yeah.
When we get out of the pitch, all the United fans, United. And I remember Ferguson in the dressing room. He said, like, you are a disgrace. You have to win the league for them. And we won the league. And we were like, I think 9 points behind after that game or those kind of stuff. So people will not understand you, but be yourself because you're passionate and talk with your heart. But yeah, it's a different team.
We'll be back, man. We'll be back. Don't worry.
History. I said to people, history never dies.
Itself,
like we will be back. We in a final, not like other team.
I can never be jealous, Patrice. I just want to finish on this.
I need to give you one little bit.
I can't be jealous of not being in not winning a competition that we're not in. We're not in that competition because we're in the better one. Right.
Even when you were in it, it's not like you were winning it anyways.
It's like telling me Leeds won the championship. They're better than Arsenal.
The last 4 years, it's been maybe one of the worst United side.
Yeah.
How many trophies we won?
Could be 3 in 3 years.
Could be 3 in 3 years.
I'll let you guys cut.
No, they're waiting, guys.
But 15th place in the Premier League is unacceptable for even Fulham.
No comments.
On the season 21, subscribe. Have your platinum membership.
Anyway,
guys, I'll see you guys no time. Thanks so much for Patrice. Thanks so much for Tommy Fish, Lyes as well, and check out the play out. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.